host, Kenny Steele, and today we have one of my closest and best friends in the wrestling industry, my buddy, who is apparently a media whore, because he's doing Collider News, he's doing It Is What It Is, he has his own YouTube show, and I have to be a better friend because I found all this out a second ago. but the Jackass BC.
What's up, man? Hey, look, it's okay. We found out a little while ago that I got mad at Jerome for not liking any of my stuff on Instagram. Come to find out, I wasn't following him either. So, we do these things. Things happen.
Shout out to Jerome Daniels, who's also on the show.
Yeah,
I appreciate you guys, man. But dude, you are, man, oh my God. I will say this. You are one of the main inspirations and reasons why I'm running a YouTube channel.
Oh man,
I will admit that right here, right now, because we will be at wrestling shows and we'll constantly talk comics, we'll constantly talk movies, and I remember just telling you like how I was a friend of guys like Screen Junkie, shout out to them, Collider News and stuff like that, shouts out to those guys, and you're constantly flying out to LA and you're talking, your peers and friends with these guys, and I remember when you started, it's like, I'm just gonna start just doing, little reviews on Cinelinx, if I'm not mistaken.
Cinelinx.com for news, reviews, editorials, and more.
So you were doing your reviews on Cinelinx, and I was like, all right, that's cool. So I started reading a couple of them, checking them out, and I was like, oh, that's all right. And then it got to the point where you were like, okay, hey man, I'm starting to like, I kind of got some stuff. I'm reviewing some stuff. They're inviting me out. I'm like, all right, yeah. I was like, okay, that was cool. That that didn't bother me. The Cinelinx thing, I was like, that was cool. And then next thing you know, it's like, oh yeah, by the way, hanging out with Mark Ellis and and my buddy Jay. And I was like, Jay, that was on Screen Junkies? He's like, yeah. I was like, Mark Ellis from Collider? It's like, it's just like, yeah, we're buddies. We're kicking it. I was like, I hate you so much. You have no idea how much I watch those dudes.
I literally have text messages on my phone right now of me and Mark going back and forth because I told him, I tried to text him the other day. I said, bro, it's over, it's done. The Redskins ain't got nothing. Jason Witten is back, son. Cowboys all day. He got so mad, bro.
It's so funny because we've known each other for like nearly a decade, right?
Almost, yeah.
Yeah, and we started training together.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's really weird how this is all had full stuff. We've always just had common interests, just like natural chemistry. It was weird. At first it wasn't in the ring, but then we kind of fixed that.
We did. I always told people, yo, Kenny is legit, Kenny's the truth. Me and Kenny are not good in the ring together. At all. Like, it's totally awful. And then we had a match at ETCW for my title, and it was... And right now, it's one of my favorite matches I ever had. I was like, man, that was so much fun.
It was weird because we've known each other for so long. It was just kind of like we just know our shit, and it just kind of just flowed just really well. Even when we did Infamous Jackasses and we did that thing.
That worked really well.
It worked very well. It was just natural.
And I think the Hip Hop Express helped a lot too, because the Hip Hop Express was such a fun gimmick. It was fun. Of they're like yo BC, we got Payday and Kenny together. They're going to be a team called the Hip Hop Express. Do you want to come do their introduction? I'm like, wait a minute. You're going to bring me into wrestling and I don't have to get hit. All I have to do is talk on a microphone. Let's do this.
The easiest check you've ever received.
Exactly.
The easiest payday you've ever received.
Exactly.
Shout out to Orion Taylor, aka Payday. But yeah, man, we've just been looking at this, man. It's just like 8 years ago, and it's just like, wow, man.
Yeah, 8 years in wrestling from MPX to where we is now, all over, we moving around. Like, you're going out to Detroit a lot. I've got a very small booking in New York coming up. It's really cool to see, like what you've grown into with the Dot Mob and everything that you've been able to do. And it's really cool to see all of our other friends just coming up in this business together. It's so hyped to see, man.
It's good because wrestling is such a great hotbed right now. And it's so much talent. And wrestling is so good. And it's just like, Texas has kind of just had its own little black hole and its own like little best kept secret, and now to see everybody like Keith and Jerome.
Oh, it's insane, dude! I keep joking about it, but I'm like, yo, NXT is becoming Texas wrestling because you got War Machine or War Raiders.
War Raiders.
I hate that name. I really wish it was War Machine. And, Sarah Logan and Ember Moon and now Keith Lee.
Yeah.
and I believe ACH is there now. I'm like, slowly but surely, we're getting there. We are taking over the WWE.
Yeah.
So that's something that's really cool to see.
I think every state has something great to offer in wrestling, but it's really nice to see, people that we've interacted with, been in the ring with, you know what I'm saying, kind of took the bumps when on the road with. It's really nice to see, like you said, we were saying before, the appreciation and the progress and the growth and to see them make it. And it's just kind of like you said, it's like knowing that punk band before it made it big.
Exactly.
And now they got that hit song. He's like, dude, I knew their mixtape like 5 years ago. I knew them back. Dude, I knew that band back when they were sitting up there playing county fair shows. Dude, you have no idea.
Exactly, bro.
No
I was bumping Papa Roach way before, man. He was on Ready to Rumble soundtrack, dude. What you talking about?
I knew Ludacris back when he had that smooth little single on I think it was like one of the Maddens before he actually hit it big. Next thing you know, Welcome to Atlanta comes. Everybody's, you heard that dude Ludacris? You don't play Madden, obviously. You don't play Madden.
Yep.
It's awesome, man. It's awesome, man. But no, just to see all that, dude, you've always had a gift of gab, man. And it's been something that's really cool because it's funny to me because even though I've had a bit of that, I've always kind of brought it up. It just in kind of inappropriate places where I shouldn't have been talking. So most of the time, it's kind of, I had to kind of work to get that out. People's like, hey, man, just you shouldn't be talking right now. Now's not the time.
Now's when you shut up.
You've never had that. And I would have so many people on who's like, dude, you see BC? He's like so charismatic, so smooth. And I'm like, that's just him being him. That's us in the back. That's us in the back every show.
It's someone once told me like the best wrestling gimmick is really just you dialed up.
Yeah.
And so that's what I've loved. I get to go out there and I literally get to be me, just a lot louder.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun. It's giving me something because back in the day, today I'm not much of a socializer anymore. And I say anymore because back in the day I was first one in the club, last one out. I was the damn, like, I wanted all lights on me, all that. I was always turned on. And wrestling has given me the ability to go, okay, I can go out through that curtain, or I can turn this camera on for YouTube, whatever I'm doing, and I can be that person. And then when it's off, you turn that camera off and go back through the curtain. I'm going home, bye guys. I'm like an introverted extrovert. It's really weird.
It's really weird because it's like if we get you in front of people, you're the one passing out drinks, you're the one with a microphone in your hand, you're the life of the party, you're the guy that's singing, dancing, doing everything else. It's like, all right, cool, we're going to the after party. And you'd be like, I just hosted you bastards for 2 hours. I'm done. I'm going home. I've had my fun. I've had my cake. I'm going home.
Where's it at? Yeah, I'm on my way. Oh, man, something came up. I got to get to the crib. The dog was barking. You see, you don't have a dog. The cat, you don't even like animals. Yeah.
So what's so funny is because, like, and I usually ask everybody, I was like, well, how do you get started? Like, I know, because we came up together. I know exactly how you got started. But I think it's hilarious that you were the guy that never really admitted that he liked wrestling at first.
Oh, no.
And then later on, like, it just became kind of cool. He was like, you know what? I'm wrestling now.
Okay, what happened with me was funny because, growing up, I never, I never really paid attention to wrestling. I just didn't. It's not that I didn't like it, nothing like that. I just didn't pay attention to it. And then I was at a buddy's house in 8th grade, and he was like, yo, let's play some N64. I'm like, hell yeah, let's play some N64. What are we playing? Oh, we're going to play WCW vs. NWO World Tour. And I'm like, what is that? Oh, it's wrestling. Guys, wrestling's fake. And they're like, no, man, it's really cool. Let's go play it. I'm like, whatever. I get to be Hulk Hogan. Because as, someone who doesn't know wrestling, Hulk Hogan. Suburban Commando, what's up? And so my buddies are like, there is no Hulk Hogan. It's Hollywood. I'm like, whatever, I'm Hogan. And so we're sitting there playing it, and I'm just like, yo, when's... And all of a sudden, I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. When does wrestling come on? And my buddy's talking about Nitro. From then on, I'm like, I'm a wrestling fan. So...
That's awesome, man. Like, dude, the NWA was huge, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, NWO, I'm sorry, NWO.
Yeah.
NWA was huge too, straight out of Compton. But
Yo,
Cube's not wrestling. Cube's not wrestling. I don't care what anybody says. You hit Cube, he's fighting for real.
Snoop gets in the ring every now and then.
Snoop does get in the ring every now and then.
He's in WWE Hall of Fame.
Hall of Famer, bro. I'm telling you. Sasha Banks' cousin is coming out doing the intro. Snoop is the man. But now NWO was huge, man. Those were hilarious. And but like they just had charisma through.
See, and that's the thing I've always watched is a lot of people get into wrestling for different things, like the athleticism of it, the wrestling of it. It's like wrestling. I've always been attracted to the showmanship of it. Mm-hmm. I was always attracted to the fact that everyone thinks WWE superstar is a bad title. We were wrestlers, we're not superstars. I'm like, I want to be a superstar. Like I like that theatrics of it along with the athleticism. I've always been, I'm a football player. I wrestled in high school, played basketball. I'm a sportsman. Mm-hmm. So I've always liked athletics. But the fact that I can also be a showman while doing that is really cool to me.
Yeah, because I mean, especially WWE is on such a global scale and it's so huge. And last I checked, like, you're at WrestleMania every year. Like your Christmas.
Last year was my 10th WrestleMania.
Yeah, in a row.
I go every single year. It has become my number one favorite vacation, and not because it's like, oh, I get to go watch WWE. No, it's at a point that it's like a family reunion.
Yeah.
Like we know so many people in this business. We all get together and just go and have fun, and we forget everything that's made us jaded about this business. Yeah. There's so much drama in professional wrestling, in locker rooms and stuff like that. Yeah. And everyone wants to go, you did this, and they want to hate and bitch at each other. And I'm just like, yo, remember why you're a fan. Remember what got you into this. Yeah. And that's what WrestleMania kind of does to you. When you're there, when you're in that, and everywhere you go are wrestlers doing what they love, entertaining crowds. Yeah. You get to remember what it's like to be a kid again. And I remember one year I got to a point that I knew so many wrestlers. I was hanging out with Andrade Cien Almas, and I was like, man, I feel like I'm wearing a wrestling T-shirt. Like, oh my god, like why? I look like just a fan. That's so dumb. And then it was our buddy Jackson Stone. It's like, why? I'm like, well, I mean, maybe I probably shouldn't be doing that around these guys. And they're like, you're a fan. Like they're fans too. Look on they're wearing each other's T-shirts. Like be a fan. Yeah. Like that's why you're in this business is because you were once a fan. Don't ever forget that we're in this because we love it. Yeah. Do what makes you passionate. Be passionate about what makes you passionate. Yeah. And so I started thinking about that. I was like, man, you're right. Like that's what it is. I do this because I love it, because I'm a fan of it. So. Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think it's crazy because even that whole WrestleMania weekend, it's not just WrestleMania, it's the entire weekend. Rather they're in Orlando or New York or Atlanta or whatever, it takes over the entire weekend. And it's so much wrestling, it's so many fans, so many wrestlers. It's, it's right. You do kind of just get sucked into it. And I also, think it's phenomenal. It's a phenomenal weekend to be a part of. It is. So no, absolutely. And it's funny that you say that because a lot of people get ridiculed for liking wrestling and kind of being too much and doing this and that. But when you look on every other wrestler's social media, if you look at Ricochet's, if you look at Keith Lee's, if you look at Buddy Murphy's and stuff, when they're out and about, just kind of everyday life, they're wearing their Fritz t-shirts. Yeah. They're wearing an Eric, Tozawa t-shirt. They're wearing they're wearing the John Cena shirts. They're up there, wearing the I Got Kids or Heath Slater. Yeah. So you're absolutely right. Don't be jaded by be what you're passionate about. Be a fan, and that's one thing I've always kind of admired by you because you've always just enjoyed the spectacle. It didn't matter what the event was, but you appreciate the work, you appreciate the craftsmanship, and you've always just kind of enjoyed wrestling as as an event, and as a show itself. Yeah. So that's always a great perspective. It's able to let me still be a kid, just have fun, man. That's what it's about having fun and enjoying life. No, it's definitely dope, man. So you also have your own YouTube channel. I do a lot. About that. My YouTube is a lot of, I do movie reviews, I do trailer reactions, which I don't understand for the life of me. Like, I don't understand why people like to watch someone else watch something. I don't get it, but it gets views and people like to see it. And they're like, oh my god, I love how you reacted to that. I'm like, cool. You know, like Tyrone Magnus. I don't know if you've ever seen his YouTube. Like he has millions of followers, and every video he does has millions of views, and people are watching. They send him, "Hey man, watch this," and it's just him watching a video and reacting to it. Like why he just films himself watching things. So why people like I don't get it, but. People want me to do it, so I've done it. I do it. And so every time there's a new trailer, I do a reaction to the trailer, or I do movie reviews. You can find some of my podcast. Sometimes I get lazy and forget to put the podcast on there. I need to continue to put the podcast on there. And then I have a lot of my wrestling matches on there, and if I ever need to cut a promos are on there.
Yeah, absolutely. No, because it's funny because I just started watching Jeremy John's like trailer reactions, and it was just kind of like when I first kind of saw them, I was kind of like, no, I don't care. I mean, it's just a trailer.
Yeah.
I mean, and then half the time when he was reviewing it, he was just like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. And I was like, no, that's the exact thing I thought when I saw that. But just like you said, people just want to know. What do you think? Yeah. You see so much stuff. What do you think? What do you think about it? What do you think they're going to do? Do you think they're not going to do this? Do you think they are going to do something? And it's just like, oh, okay, cool. Exactly. You know, but it's something that people enjoy. You know, it's definitely in demand for. You know, and if it's engaging and if it's entertaining, it's another way to kind of get to your audience. I mean, yeah, by more the merrier. Because it's funny. Because even though it's the exact same thing I thought, I caught myself just a week ago. It's funny that you say it because I caught myself just a week ago. He just reviewed, I think, Hellboy trailer and the another Miss Captain Marvel trailer. Captain Marvel, yeah. And it just happened to come up, and I just went. Yeah, I wonder what he thinks about it. Come on, man. Just tell me. Just tell me what you think. I mean, yeah, I don't know how I said something to it, but I did. I'm just like, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Okay, cool.
There's even one, like, the newest, there was some trailer that came out. I don't remember what it was. But I didn't watch the trailer.
Oh, okay.
But I watched someone's review of the trailer. Yes. So I'm like, well, I don't want to see the trailer, but I want to know what you thought about the trailer.
That's how it was about.
And then when you finish, you're like, why did I... What made me want to see? I mean, I'm glad I watched that.
But just watch the trailer. It's funny because I thought the exact same thing with that Hellboy trailer. Like, I was like, well, I do want to know your opinion on the trailer, but I technically gotta see the trailer first. Yeah. Like, please let me see the trailer first before I see the reaction. So yeah, it's ridiculous, man. But no, going back to wrestling. So you know, you're being a big NWO fan, which makes a ton of sense.
Oh yeah.
Because I can see you being a huge Scott Hall and like Kevin Nash fan. You're always been a fan of, like, you know, you've always been a fan of, you know, the Giants and the big wrestlers and stuff like that. So who are some of the guys that you kind of watch and you kind of like, oh yeah, I can use some of that.
Dude. Well, number one, my top three, in no particular order, like depending on what day you ask me, they change. But my top three wrestlers have always been Sting, Goldberg, and Macho Man. Always. Now, some days Goldberg's number one, some days Macho Man's number one, some days it's Sting that's number one. You never know.
Yeah.
But those are always my top three, and you can always tell because my finisher is the spear. You know, I take that from Goldberg. Yeah. Originally, I wanted to do the jackhammer, but apparently people told me I couldn't get the spin right. I was like, I'm just gonna.
No, I've taken that. You couldn't get the spin right. It hurt my head.
I don't care. I don't care that it hurts you. It's supposed to hurt you. But then I got the spear from Goldberg, and you know, and those, like, Macho Man's such a showman. You know, Goldberg, a presence every time he's in the ring. So you were always drawn to just go. He stood in fireworks and then breathed out smoke. He inhaled fire and breathed out smoke. Like, you know, and then Sting. He's the Crow. He's a comic book character in real life, and you believed that.
Yeah.
You know, so he's always been someone that I was just drawn to,
right?
And that's always been the thing that draws me is those characters who are still real people, but characters.
Yeah.
Like the Macho Man. Like, no one believes. You look at that and you want to go, well, that guy's really overacting, and then you see how he was in real life, and you go, well, that guy is just that guy. Wow. Okay.
It's just, you know? And it's funny because Macho Man is my dad's favorite wrestler. Yeah. And it's so funny because I'll go on the network and just like Macho Man just puts the biggest smile on my face. Just because he's so over the top. His back is always to the camera. He's always got some crazy analogy. And he's always... Yeah, he's just always on the edge. Yeah.
The door of power too sweet to be sour. Funky like a monkey. Space the place. Sky's the limit.
Macho Man.
Ooh, yeah.
He's like, macho madness, we're satisfying and say, whoa, you can't say it. Oh, yeah, I can, G. Oh, yeah. It's the greatest thing. Like, who is this dude, and why is he amazing?
Exactly.
Why is he amazing for no reason?
Exactly. You know, and I grew up on the NWO. I was never much of a WWF fan when I was a kid. I was a WCW guy. Yeah. And I might be one of the only few people. Everyone. I'm like, today's society. Now, I want to disagree because again, WCW was winning the ratings. So I want to say a lot of you people grew up watching WCW. It's just now you want to be like, oh, no, I was always
because they lost the war. But no, they really, you know, they did really good at bending reality. Mm-hmm. And I give Bischoff that you know that great credit because you know he made everybody drop gimmicks. It always seemed like it was legit, it was real, everything was a shoot. And even back then, you really couldn't tell the difference. You just wanted more of it. Yeah. And, you know, even back then, WWE has admitted they were behind the curve. Yeah. They were doing too much cartoon stuff. And, you know, they wanted to be more real.
It's like looking at this Twitter beef with Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch. Mm-hmm. Like, did you see this stuff?
Yeah, absolutely.
This, like you look at this and you're like, well, it's wrestling, so it's kayfabe. Ronda Rousey just called it fake. This might not... She might legitimately want to hurt this girl. I don't know if this is real or not. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's what's amazing about it is you don't know if this is real. Is she going to get in this ring? Is she going to legitimately break this girl's arm?
It's like
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like the Roman Reigns Tama Tonga thing. Mm-hmm. Where they were kind of having their Twitter. Yeah. And you know, that whole Anoa'i family, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, a lot of those were Samoans and Tongans and stuff. And they were kind of just going back and forth really hard. I didn't know if that was a shoot or not. And I was a fan of both. And I was like, oh my God.
Legitimately, I'm friends with some of the people in the some of the cousins. Mm-hmm. All right, they live here in Dallas. And they're like, I'm not going to lie to you, we don't know if they hate each other either.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know?
It's
and
crazy.
I'm like,
It even got to the point, I think, I was watching one of the G1 specials, and you see Tama Tonga walk out, the whole Roman Reigns thing, and it's like, dude.
That was dope.
It was dope, but I was like, you don't know what's real. You don't know what's a shoot. You don't know what's real. Yeah. It was really cool, man. So it's like, but no, and I give props to WCW for bending that reality and sucking you in, because that was a great attraction of it. And plus the cruiserweights were phenomenal. Oh yeah. The cruiserweights were so good. And so many world champions coming out of it. You know, Guerrero, Jericho, you know, Benoit, Mysterio. Like, so many guys came from that class. Dean Malenko. Oh my God, I wish Dean Malenko was just... Yeah. Oh, I wish he had a longer stretch, but Dean Malenko was so good. So and WCW stuff was great. When we first started, that was a lot of guys I actually really watched and emulated, trying to, you know, the Dean Malenkos and Guerreros and stuff like that back when I was a little bit smaller. So that was kind of one of those things. But no, that's always been cool, man. But so, you know, saying that, like, what are some, because you are just a giant kid. You are really a fan of everybody. Who are some of the guys, like, you get to shows, because, you know, even last night you're at a show. Who are some of the guys you get there, you just can't wait to watch their matches?
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. Like, last night I literally had to go out and I took a seat from a little 10-year-old kid. His name's Langley. Love Langley to death. Good little kid, man. Great fan of the FJA. I made him get out of his seat so I could sit down in the front row so I can watch Gregory James versus Dave Sagan versus Dmitry Alexandrov versus Aaron Mercer.
You're terrible.
I made him get out of his seat. I'm like, Langley, I love you. Get out of your seat. I need to watch this. And he was in front row, so I had to be there. I had to see Greg James.
You're so terrible. Is there anybody else?
Oh man, I love with passion my boy Jackson Stone. If you've never seen Jack, have you ever seen his highlight reels?
Yes.
Jackson Stone's highlight reel is the greatest thing ever because there's no actually wrestling in it. It's literally him just going, Jackson Stone, everybody! 37 times at 37 different places. Oh and it is the greatest thing ever. And then it's like highlight reel number 2. And it's new things of him doing that. I love Jackson so much, man. But you know, like we have so much talent around here, man. You know, you got your Bam Bam Malones, you got your Jerome Danielses, you got your Chandler Hopkins.
Yeah, Chandler's great.
The Impact Players, Ryan Remington. Yeah. Ryan apparently stole the show the other night against Shane Strickland. Nice. And I am so happy to hear that because I love Ryan Remington. Yeah, Michael Schaefer. Kingsman Michael Schaefer is someone
so underrated, bro.
who does not give the credit he deserves.
That's nice. So
because he's a giant man.
Dude, yeah.
He is a giant dude, and he is incredibly athletic. He was out of the gym for a year and a half. Came to work out with me because we've decided we're going to try out for the XFL. And out of the gym for a year and a half, he kept up and did every single one of my workouts and kept going and kept getting better and better every single day. It's insane how athletic that man is.
No, I've wrestled Schaefer so many times, and it's just, every time I was like, dude, you're amazing.
Yes, he is, dude. Stephen Kirby,
yes.
Another one who is criminally underrated.
Yeah.
Because of how he got into the business.
Yeah.
Which is messed up because he gave us our start.
He gave us our start.
You know, like that's how we got in there.
Yeah, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him.
Exactly. Christopher Hayden. I love Christopher Hayden all the time. And of course, I can't go without saying, my tag team partner, Frankie Fisher. I would not be the wrestler I am if it wasn't for Frankie Fisher.
Frankie's amazing.
Like, Frankie is so talented and so charismatic and has given me so much in this business. I have learned so much from just watching him. Scott Murdoch, another guy who we don't see as much anymore. Yeah. But I learned so much from Scott back
Such a good guy too, and such a big teddy bear, man.
Oh,
every time.
Huggy Bear. Huggy Bear. That's what we used to call him every time we showed up to NBS. Huggy Bear.
Huggy Bear is so nice. But it's funny. Like we say, wrestling, you go walk through that curtain and it's that switch. He can be the most vicious
Murdoch smash
I've ever seen. Like it's times I've wrestled him and it's just like, no, dude, like, I gotta legit fight you. Like it's like it's nothing personal, but you're just so massive. Yeah. You're so strong. You can throw me into the 10th row, just no problem whatsoever.
And then like there's people that we work with that I think it's messed up they're not in WWE yet. Mm-hmm. Like Barrett Brown should be on 205 Live.
Oh, absolutely.
No, hands down. Absolutely. Matthew Palmer should already be there.
Absolutely.
Andy Dalton should have his time in the sun out there, man. And it's crazy. It's And I look forward to the day. I'm sure Jackson's going to get there at some point. Mm-hmm. And if Ryan, as new as he is, keeps on this path, he'll be there at some point as well too. Mm-hmm. So, and that's why I look forward to seeing it. I love seeing these guys. And I have no delusions of grandeur that I'm going to be at all. And it's not because you don't think you're good enough. I might be. I might not so much in the ring, but you put me on that microphone, I might be a character they could use. But you know what? I don't know. If I want to get hit every single night for the rest of my life. I'm not going to lie to you. Everyone's like, well, wrestling's fake. Right? It doesn't hurt. It hurts. No, it hurts. Everything about it hurts. I wake up in the morning in so much pain. Yeah. But at the same time, when I go through a week or so where I haven't been in the ring, I'm just like,
you're just antsy. You're just
I need to get in the ring.
It's so funny because it's like even taking a break. You know what I'm saying? With just healing up injuries and nursing stuff, and even you sitting there on a Friday night or a Saturday, or even a Sunday, you're just sitting up there. It's like, wait, where's wrestling, man? Like I got to bump. I got to hit something. Exactly. I got to dive over somebody. I got to do something. Man.
And
it's almost like an incomplete feeling.
Exactly. It's not helping right now. That movie Fighting My Family came out. Because then I went to see it, and now like that passion is completely reignited. And so when I get in the ring, they're like, hey, what do you want to do tonight? I'm like, everything. What are you going to hit him with? I'm going to hit him with everything.
You want to take all the bumps, all the bruises, all the hits.
What kind of moves? I'm going to look. Open up the wrestling dictionary. All right, start with armbar. I'm going to go through it all the way to Z. I don't know what move starts with a Z, but whatever one starts with the last one in the book, we're doing them all. It's either I'm hitting you or you're hitting me. That's happening tonight.
All the way from the armbar to the yes lock. It's just funny.
Okay, cool. So we can get a barbed wire table? No, we're not going to do that.
So what are your? I mean, you're a tag team guy, but primarily, but outside of being a tag team guy, what are some of your some of your most memorable match, like some of the most fun that you actually had? Because sometimes a lot of people think it's just the bumping and the bruising and the falling. Yeah. But sometimes we had fun in the ring too.
Oh yeah. God, do you remember that match that we had out at that military base?
Yeah. We met Chavo.
That was such a fun match. Yeah. Followed by the longest night of my life. like we were the opening match. And we're like, okay, we got like, what was it, 2.5 hours to drive back home. We're opening match. All right, cool, show will be over at 10. It's 11:30, and intermission hadn't started yet. And Chavo Guerrero and Hernandez and ODB were not happy that it's 11:30 and intermission hadn't started yet because they in the main event. And we like, can we get paid? Oh, not till the show's over. It's 11:30. We went on at 6, bro.
Oh my god.
Oh, but the match itself was so much fun. I had a match once that I'll always remember and I will always love, regardless of whether the fact he admits to knowing me or not. But me against Jerome Daniels in a hair match. And although my hair has never grown back as beautiful as it was since that match, I will say that match was the first time that I ever went, oh, I'm a wrestler.
Yeah.
You know, because we went through the ringer with each other, and I learned to push myself to a limit that I didn't know if I could.
Right.
And so now every match I go out, I try to push myself, and it's all thanks to that match with Jerome. So I really do credit Jerome a lot for how I became a wrestler as well, because and it's nothing that he knows. He doesn't know he did this for me.
Right.
But just working with him was something that really pushed my limits, you know. And then my first tag match when I won my first tag team title match with Zach T, when we first won those belts, was an amazing opportunity for me, because the fact that they gave me the belt like a year in was a big deal to me. I was like, man, okay, cool, you know, and that was really cool for me.
And you were the first. You're MPX's first tag team champion. The original.
Theoretically, like technically, James Johnson and Scotty Master Blaster came in and said, we have tag belts, so we're the tag team. We're the MPX tag team champions. You know, so that's just what it was. Like, okay, they have belts, so they're the tag team champions, and they're here. And then Scotty couldn't be there at some point, and so Payday became Johnson's tag partner. Right. But the first official MPX tag team, like we were a homegrown MPX tag team, we were trained by MPX, and we were there as a team. We weren't two guys put together to be, you know, just because. We were a team. Right. We were the first ones to win those title belts and be MPX tag team champions.
Yeah, and that was a great night. I was there that night.
Yeah, and you know, since then, right now, me and Kirby are tied as holding those belts the most. Nice. We both hold them 4 times. Nice. And I'm really disappointed because he just lost them recently, the other night, to Malico and his Scarecrow partner. I'm not sure of his name. So that means I'm like, uh-oh. Because if Kirby and Schaefer go get them back at any point, then now Kirby takes over my record. We're no longer tied. Now he has one more than me. And Schaefer ties me. So I'm like, oh my God.
Man, that's ridiculous.
So that match, and then winning the ETCW World Heavyweight Championship, which was well over a year now that I've been the ETCW World Heavyweight Champion of the world, Craig. Not just the city, but the world. And I'm really disappointed because normally I take the belt everywhere I go. I forgot the belt.
Oh my God.
But I won it against Pendragon, Karrion Arcane, and Christopher Hayden. It was a fatal 4-way. And the reason that match was so big for me is because for you two is Karrion Arcane and Christopher Hayden helped train us. Yeah. And that was really big for me to be in that match with them and win my first ever singles title with them. Yeah. So
that was dope.
Yeah.
And it was great to see that shot, because even like when you got that accolade and you started posting it on social media, you know, and it did kind of take me by surprise, because you've been part of several tag teams, but great tag teams.
Yeah,
several great
tag teams. Carey, Cash and Larry.
Right. Forgot about Cash and Larry.
Cash and Larry was the team, bro. Hip Hop Express, and the FJA, the Flying Jackasses, which is infamous Jackasses. I do like that team.
So many tag teams.
Yeah.
How did you kind of get started with it? Because we've always been comic book guys. We've always watched, you know, a ton of movies, been fans of film. That's kind of what inspired me to kind of get this channel. Where did you start, and how did you decide that you wanted to go that route?
What, in movies and stuff?
Yeah, movie reviews and, you know, comic reviews and stuff.
Honestly, you know, I take it back, and I've never told it. Batman Forever, honestly, is what.
Really?
Yes. Which is weird because I hate Batman Forever. I think Val Kilmer's the worst Batman ever. He's
worse than Clooney?
Yep, worse than Clooney. You know why? Because Clooney, to me, I look at Clooney, I go, you're a continuation of Adam West. That's what you are. and I don't get mad at it.
Okay.
All right, but Val Kilmer, he smiled as Batman, and I hated that. But there's a scene where he's in the Batcave, and he's standing at the very beginning of the scene, right before Alfred goes, "Can I persuade you to take a sandwich, sir?" And he goes, "I'll get drive-through." But there's a scene where the Batmobile's coming up, and Batman's standing right there, and you look at the frame of that shot, and before the movie came out, that picture was at Entertainment Weekly, and I saw that picture.
Nice.
You know, and so that's the first time I went, man, there's behind the scenes stuff in movies.
Yeah,
that's weird to think.
Yeah.
You know, and then the Avengers came out, and I saw in 2012, fast forward, and I started following, or at 2008, Samuel Jackson comes on screen and goes, "I'm Nick Fury. I want to talk about the Avengers."
Oh yeah, that was a great moment.
And I go, the Avengers? Like, what is this? And then the Incredible Hulk and all that, and they did that, and I followed along with how that was made, and that's how I found San Diego Comic-Con. No. And so I started following along. I'm like, oh, there's this thing called Hall H where they give you information. So I started following this blog that was telling me everything. I'm like, oh yeah, they were talking about this on AMC Movie Talk. What's AMC Movie Talk? So then I get on YouTube and I find AMC Movie Talk, hosted by, at the time, John Campea. And I was like, it's like Sports Center, but they're talking movies. This is so cool. Which spiraled, learning about the Schmoes, learning about all that. Yeah. And that's when I realized I can make a career out of talking about movies. Like, I can do that. That's something that I would love to do.
That's all I did as a kid. My mom made fun of me.
Yeah,
my mother.
Yeah, because I love to talk about movies. So, and I remember I went to San Diego Comic-Con, and I went out there. I had no ticket to Comic-Con. I had no hotel. I had nothing. I just flew out there, and I knew the Schmoes were having a meetup. Schmoes know Christian Harloff and Mark Ellis, who we were talking about earlier. And
you're friends now.
Yeah. I went out there and I go, I want to work for you. What do I need to do? And I talked to them, and they knew me from that. I was sleeping in a car just so I could meet these guys and tell them I want to work for them.
Wow.
And now Christian calls me and brings me up to every live event they do. They're like, hey, we need help. Come do this. Come do this. Come do that. They get me on shows every now and then. Johnny LaQuasto gets me on DC Movie News every now and then. So, and it's stuff like that. It's just... And the last time I was with Mark, we were hanging out at the Comedy Store, and he just took the time to tell me, he's like, hey, I love what you're doing. You're getting good. Just keep at it. And it's stuff like that makes me go, okay, I'm doing something right. I just have to keep working. Through all the hardships, you just got to know, if you have a dream, you just don't give up. You just keep working.
Keep going.
Consistency and work is always key.
Yeah, and you never know when that moment's going to drop, that ball's going to drop, and you're going to hit it big. Because like they always say, you can do 10 years of work just for that one day to hit it big. And then when it happens, the world discovers you, and it's just like everyone loves you.
Exactly.
And that's wow, man. That's one hell of a story. We're gonna wrap it up. I appreciate you being on here, man. Such an inspiration, man. Such a special guest. I'm glad you came on the show. And go ahead, and we have his social media right here. His Instagram, Real Jackass BC.
You can find me on all social media at Real Jackass BC, RealJackass BC, Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I was on Vero for a while. Any kind of social media, I just use it. I'm like, yeah, let me jump in and do it. And my YouTube channel is youtube.com/JackassNation. Sinlinks.com is where you can find all my podcasts. It is what it is. It goes up every single Thursday. We just talk life. Like, whatever's on my mind, I talk about. Everything. The Friday before pay-per-views, WWE, I talk a show called Go Home. The last Monday of the month, we have Jackass 1, where we talk Star Wars, any and everything. I love to talk it. I love coming on. Hey, thank you for bringing me on here.
Oh, no, absolutely.
It's a lot of fun. I'm really happy to be here.
Absolutely.
And I actually got to tell you, Kenny, like, I didn't know what it was going to be like coming on here, but you are such a great host and interviewer. You are incredible at this. And for what you've done, how many of these?
I've probably been doing this I just started this one.
Yeah, you just started this, and already you're incredible at it. I love everything you do. You have such a presence when you're talking to people, and you know how to lead a conversation, and that's what's most important about this. So keep up at it. I love watching this, man. It's gonna be great.
Thank you, man. And we'll definitely collaborate more. We will definitely see more BC. And if you like more videos like this, please like, share, subscribe. We had to do this thing. You showed me earlier that the subscribe is gonna be over here if you're on YouTube. Is it here? Is it here? You showed me the other
No,
Do
I tell you, take your right hand.
Do I dab with it? With
right hand across your body.
Across my body.
Subscribe button and the bell.
That's
and then
what it is.
hit the subscribe button and hit that bell so you can get notifications every time they put up a new video.
Notifications every time. Tell your mother, your friends, your teacher, and your peers. And until next time, man, we'll see you soon.